I've seen a couple of clips from his social media and he seemed pretty funny. Let me tell you, I didn't last longer than 3 minutes.
And there's so many toxic men out there and they're ready for the come up.
This is what you want to present to men as something to look up to be cool, to think is funny?
How could he say something like that? Cancel Matt Rife.
I have a question for you. Do you have a daughter? Do you have a wife?
All he had to do was put out a funny special.
If the answer is yes, how would you feel if someone just came in and said, well, maybe she deserved it?
Who here has never been to a comedy show before? See, a lot of people have no idea how it works.
Hey, Matt, I'm a survivor.
Imagine throwing away millions of dollars and fans who like you to cater to unfunny white dudes.
On the internet, people can say anything they want to you. Say whatever mean, hurtful things you want to say to try to hurt my feelings, but just know I'm gonna f you up verbally. You can't cancel me. I'm not your gym membership.
If you've spent any amount of time on TikTok in the past year or so, especially on the stand-up comedy side, you've likely seen a video of Matt Rife pop up on your For You page. And for good reason. Born in Columbus, Ohio, he's been performing stand-up comedy professionally since he was 15 years old. Since then, he's slowly built up his career through self-produced stand-up specials, appearances on reality shows, and even small appearances on popular sitcoms like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Fresh Off the Boat. But his popularity really exploded on social media, particularly TikTok. With over 18 million TikTok followers, over 6 million Instagram followers, and over 1 million YouTube subscribers, his fame skyrocketed, introducing him to a large, predominantly female-skewing audience. And that audience was extremely loyal to him. Earlier in 2023, he sold out his tour of over 100 dates in less than 48 hours. All that success has led to a career milestone many comedians only dream of, a Netflix special, which was released on November 15th.
We're doing Netflix, baby.
Naturally, his loyal fan base was excited to support their favorite comedian and watch his special. After all, he gained popularity from his crowd work clips on TikTok.
His crowd work is great. He's got great wit.
I've seen a couple of clips from his social media and he seemed pretty funny.
And it's easy to see why his TikToks consistently get millions of views. He can easily connect with anyone in his audience in a matter of seconds.
Whether it's a man at a show in Columbus, Ohio.
You're from Saudi Arabia? Yeah. Welcome to Ohio. If it is your first time in Columbus, sorry. Oh, you guys are from Cleveland. Oh, never mind. Enjoy Columbus. That's so much better.
Or a woman who was intimate with her gay best friend.
You want to make sure he slept with the most beautiful girl?
I know the lighting's not great back there, but were y'all homeschooled?
He also showed a softer side in some crowd work clips, like this one, where a woman at one of his shows had a seizure.
You all right? You feeling okay, you promise?
Can I get a picture with you?
Yeah, of course.
But the comedy Matt shared in his Netflix special differed dramatically from the clips shared on TikTok, starting with the opening joke. The special was filmed in Washington, D.C., and Matt's opening bit focused on a story set at a restaurant in Baltimore, a city Matt described as ratchet. The hostess at the restaurant had a black eye, and Matt's friend asked why she was greeting customers instead of back in the kitchens where patrons can't see her face. Matt replied,
Yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye.
He immediately followed that comment with, testing the water, seeing if y'all are gonna be fun or not. I figure if we start with DV, the rest of the show should be pretty smooth. The rest of the special followed that same tone, from jokes about women who are interested in crystals and astrology. I'm so tired of you ladies blaming your poor decision-making skills on planets that don't even know you. Just because Jupiter has a ring and you don't, doesn't mean that's who you're supposed to look up to for all this magical advice, man. To various jokes focused on male anatomy, including a story where he found sensitive tapes in his stepfather's closet, my stepdad leans in, and all he says is, I'm missing something. I know you know what I know, and when I get home from work tomorrow, I want it back and rewound. To jokes insulting his ex-partner, my ex is one of the most religious people I've met, which is hilarious because she is not getting into heaven, bro. To a final 15-minute joke about a contentious flight to Vancouver, where he criticizes a flight attendant who was enforcing rules he considered to be illogical, and social media users who seem to universally agree with the flight attendant. Everybody on Twitter knows every airplane rule, and they give the most amount of about them, apparently. That joke also included a couple of instances of apparent body shaming. The initial story involved an overweight man sitting in the aisle seat with his young child, who Matt referred to as Timon and Pumbaa. The other instance came when Matt explained how he clapped back at a woman he deemed to be one of the worst trolls criticizing him. He said her profile picture indicated she was overweight, and he responded to her post with, "Well, had you not been taking up 2 seats, there would have been room for me to safely secure my backpack in another chair," which statistically is not incorrect. But as we all know, everybody wants to be a victim now, right? You can't cancel me, I'm not your gym membership. He ended the special with these words of wisdom.
For 12 years, nobody believed in me, man. And if I let that affect how I respected my own thoughts and ideas, I wouldn't be doing a Netflix special at Constitution Hall in my favorite city in the entire country, man. But what do I know? I only do crowd work, right?
That line was meant to be a powerful mic drop moment, but based on the reaction from some of his fan base, it didn't really work out that way.
I think I'm realizing that I've only seen his crowd work on TikTok, and his crowd work might be better than his jokes.
As you might have guessed from that TikTok, many people were shocked and confused with what they heard in his special. Some people were upset with his opening in particular. Comedians should joke about everything, but it has to be funny, Matt. Yes, attack issues such as DV, but don't exploit them. Matt Rife sounds like he wants to buy the a pint, and that's what Netflix should end up paying Matt Lowlife Rife. Matt Rife, my special is for guys, immediately opens up with a DV joke.
Several DV survivors also spoke up on TikTok, sharing their experiences and advice.
Hey, Matt. I'm a survivor.
I am a survivor of, and I have a few things to say to Matt Rife.
I myself is a survivor of, and so is a lot of women around me.
After experiencing DV for a year and a half, you unfortunately realize how complex it is. You don't meet this person and then they instantly start abusing you. It's manipulation, it's scare tactics, it's taking what makes you vulnerable and using that against you in the most charming way.
It's not funny to us, the ones of us who've had to show up to work with black eyes, the ones of us who have gone into hiding, lived in safe houses, have been mercilessly, and it wasn't because we can't cook.
Here's a personal story for you. He wanted me to cook. I start cutting the potatoes, and it's not like a Kendall Jenner cutting. However, I was dicing it in a way that he wouldn't dice them. He's just started to yell at me and belittle me. He just started to out of me. He grabbed that while I was up against the wall and threatened to. All because I was cooking for him and I didn't cut the potatoes right.
Victim blaming like that is the reason why victims of do not reach out for support and for help. That joke was not funny. And it's an old joke, it's an outdated joke. It wasn't even funny in the 50s.
You know what will never cease to be comical to me is the fact that my ex beat ever living out of me and gave me a black eye so profound I almost lost vision in my eye. And when his mom came over after the fact, I caked on concealer so he could be excused from his behavior, and she still saw it because of how deep and black it was. And she looked at my black eye and she looked at her son and she said, "Oh, Ash," and she rolled her eyes and she didn't give a single flying fuck. And here we are making a joke about on Netflix.
Other people thought he simply wasn't funny. I'm crying at everyone realizing that Matt Rife isn't funny after watching his Netflix special and coming to the realization that he's only good at the crowd work he posts on TikTok. LMAO. Another comedian with a primarily female audience criticized Matt.
But apparently, unlike me, he doesn't like his audience, and he's concerned they're only there to look at him. So he opened his new comedy special with a joke, just to let those ladies know, stop giving him money. Imagine throwing away millions of dollars and fans who like you to cater to unfunny white dudes.
One Redditor was disturbed by him. This man literally needs federal prison. He is not funny at all and insanely misogynistic. If I met this man at a bar, I would probably pepper spray him. One TikToker was convinced Netflix used a laugh track.
I refuse to believe that that's real laughter. That has to be a laugh track throughout the entire special, which I haven't watched. But I did watch the very first joke about how he walks into a restaurant and the hostess has a black eye. And the minute he gets that single sentence out, roaring laughter. I'm sorry, how? I'm sorry, what?
A Twitter user said they got rid of their tickets to an upcoming show, and even internet darling Hank Green had something to say. A comedian ruining his relationship with a large portion of his fan base because he wanted to be like all the other boring Netflix special "you can't tell jokes anymore" crowd is actually just depressing. Several people made memes about the special and its backlash. 2 minutes into Matt Rife natural selection.
You're like getting at home, dog. Like, maybe do me a favor, like, don't come into work. Don't come into work, because it's like, I'm not trying to come in and see some girl with a black eye. Girl, I lost my appetite.
Alright, dog, I'm ready to do a Netflix comedy special, bro.
Matt, that's great. What are we gonna focus on?
Dog, hear me out. Completely obliterating women. I hate women.
And as the comedian we showed earlier hinted at, many critics have said Matt has benefited from pretty privilege up until this point. Pretty privilege can't excuse his jokes for much longer.
The reason for his success and huge fan base is like 25% because of crowd work, and then 75% is just a whole bunch of women trying to smash because they think he's fine.
Even the New York Times' The Morning newsletter commented on Matt's appearance in relation to his comedy. Rife leans into his sex appeal. He styles his hair like a member of BTS, posts workout clips online, and uses a shirtless photo on his website. But his beauty doesn't only explain his popularity, it's become part of his act. Like a tyrant, Rife's beauty rules his comedy. But even his pretty privilege couldn't get him out of responding to the backlash, though for most people, it left a lot to be desired. When Matt's Instagram followers saw the little gradient circle around his profile picture, they thought he was finally ready to make a statement apologizing for his offensive comedy. But that wasn't exactly what they got. After tapping on his profile picture, viewers saw a photo of Matt doing stand-up with a caption that read, "If you've ever been offended by a joke I've told, here's a link to my official apology." The link read, "Tap to solve your issue." But when viewers tapped the link, it took them to a website that sold special needs helmets. As one Twitter user put it, instead of apologizing, he doubled down. As you might have guessed, his apology didn't go over well. Many people were upset with the special needs helmet link. I hope you rot in hell. At this point, Matt Rife can actually all the way off. Cue Matt Rife. People with disabilities aren't your punchline after making a misogynistic DV joke. Be funny without being a gross human, or you're just not funny. Then again, this shouldn't be too surprising considering he joked about special needs in his Netflix special. I saw him live and confirmed this joke made it into a special, and it did. He jokes that because he has made fun of so many people, he will have a special needs child as a punishment. It's disgusting and so upsetting. I remember sitting there and looking around while people were laughing, and I looked at my husband and he looked back at me and saw my face and nodded and said, "Yeah, that's just not funny." My brother had Williams syndrome, and living life with him is not a punishment or bad karma. Making jokes and statements like this against a community of people who may not be able to fully defend themselves just isn't okay, and it was super disappointing. I don't know how else to describe it. I hope he sees this and maybe takes it into account for the future. One of his infamous crowd work clips even focused on an amputee.
Make fun of amputees? God damn, dude. That could be half the show.
But this response seems to tie back to what people perceive to be the root cause of his about-face and comedy.
He's transitioning his fan base. His fan base is too feminine and how he needs to make it more masculine. So he got to throw women under the bus. And there's so many toxic men out there who also hate women, and they're ready for the come up.
His apparent desire for a completely different fan base. Matt Rife canceling himself by trying to appeal to men is hilarious to me. He built a solid fan base and was loved by women, but because he just had to have approval of the male gaze, he switched up alienating and pissing off the base that made him popular in the first place.
Yeah, look, we get it, Chad. You're really just craving that male validation, aren't you? His team even said that this Netflix special was geared more towards men. So he wrote his stand-up for this special, and he decided that the way to appeal to men is to open up with a domestic joke. Well, hey there, Kyle. I'm a man. I'm the person you were trying to appeal to, and I feel respected that you thought that was the angle to take.
I think Matt Rife's special is so bad because he's trying so hard to prove himself to other men through misogyny. It's desperate and sad. And this analysis isn't coming from nowhere. Matt essentially said it himself in an interview with Variety. One thing that I wanted to tackle in this special was showing people that, like, despite what you think about me online, I don't pander my career to women. I would argue this special is way more for guys. Yet, despite the strong, swift backlash from most of his fan base, Matt still had supporters willing to defend him. Of course, some people had the typical, "they're just jokes" response. I've never once watched a Matt Rife stand-up special, but for the people offended by it, just shut up, LOL, it's comedy. Y'all want comedy to be PC? Then it won't be funny, and I can't stand how soft everything is now. I'm sorry, but why are we trying to cancel Matt Rife? It's jokes. It's to laugh. Don't take it so serious. As a survivor of DV and having worked in a primarily male environment, I personally am not offended. If you don't like it, don't watch it or ignore it, for f***'s sake. But others say they still find him genuinely funny. I honestly always liked Matt Rife's stand-up. I'm sorry, but this is funny AF. Matt Rife is freaking hilarious. Natural selection is funny as hell. This is the first funny thing Matt Rife has ever done. One person even agreed with his response to the backlash. Linking your haters to helmets is the best way to deal with people offended by jokes. Though the backlash to the backlash is probably best summarized by this post in r/true unpopular opinion. It's so funny. He only became famous because women found him hot, and now they're complaining that he betrayed them because he made a few jokes at their expense. It's hilarious. Feminists will moan about how men think they're entitled to women, but at the same time, they're acting like they're somehow entitled to Matt Rife because he's hot and he's not allowed to be anything but emotional support for them.
And just when we thought Matt was done addressing the controversy, he came back with a bang. Take his response to a joke on TikTok, for example. Dr. Benjamin Coughlin, a plastic surgeon, posted a video alluding to Matt and his cancellation, as well as the rumors he had plastic surgery done. Me after creating the greatest jawline ever just for my patient to get canceled right after. The video went viral on TikTok before it was taken down, but it's still up on Instagram. And Matt left a comment. Lying about medical history is illegal, just FYI. Of course, people latched onto the opportunity to dunk on him. Guess the comedian couldn't take a joke. I'm sorry, but him commenting on this is the funniest thing he's ever done. Why even acknowledge this? He told on himself with that. Someone whispers, once a guy got plastic surgery and then got canceled. Matt Rife busts through the wall like the Kool-Aid man yelling, "It wasn't me!" But did Matt really have work done on his face? We won't know for sure unless Matt tells us himself. And that doesn't seem likely, considering how, in the past, he seemed to imply his jawline was natural.
I never would have worked on jokes if I knew a jawline was coming.
However, others aren't convinced.
The bridge of his nose from then to now looks a little bit higher and more narrow, and the tip looks more refined. His cheekbones look considerably more full, more prominent. His teeth, of course, in this journey have changed quite a bit over the years.
What I want you to specifically look at is the shape of his lower face, focusing on the jawline and chin area, particularly in the degree of width of his face in those two areas. What really sticks out to me here is the projection of the cheekbone and jawline area. It's much more masculine, has more of a square-shaped appearance, moving away from that oval shape we've seen in previous years.
And while that comment was controversial enough, it wasn't nearly as noteworthy as his interview on Jordan Peterson's podcast. For those who don't know, Jordan Peterson is considered a controversial online figure whose views and audience seemingly align with conservative values. The interview was wide-ranging, covering his rise to fame and his general thoughts on comedy and online cancel culture, but there are a few moments that truly stand out. Jordan congratulated Matt on his DV joke and his response to his cancellation.
Yes, anyways, congratulations on that. I thought the joke was funny, risky, and funny, and I thought your response was dead on.
Matt also said he was a huge fan of Jordan's work.
I haven't done extensive research into everything you've done, but I find you to be a very kind man and very well-spoken and someone who stands on their morals and the realism of society today.
When Jordan brought up a critic who said Matt violated his female audience with the DV bit, Matt responded,
I just don't understand how the environment isn't taken into consideration. Like the environment is the context. Think of comedy like a store, like a restaurant front, right? You go in there, the food's not for you, you can leave. You didn't have to stop in here.
He also said,
I'll never apologize for a joke, ever. I just find the prioritization of human beings to be so If you're on this earth for such a limited amount of time, how insane is it to sit behind your phone and computer and complain about something you don't like when you have a world at your hands of all the things you do, like, what an absolute waste of energy, time, and emotion.
As for the DV joke itself, Matt said it was an exaggerated story.
It's a completely made up story. I went to one diner and a girl had like a little bruise under her eye, and it was like a conversational joke that happened at our table, and I went, this is crazy. Is there a definition or a label for the kind of humor that you just say the worst possible scenario? It's funny because it's ridiculous, because you know it's not true, because you know it's not what you mean, you know it's not the right thing. That is what makes it funny.
He said it was his version of an old joke, and he told it first to set the tone for the special.
And I purposely did it first in the show to go, hey, just so you know, this is the kind of humor I like to tell. And if it's not for you, you are so more than welcome to turn off the TV right now.
On Jordan's YouTube page, the comments are almost universally supporting Matt's perspective. Matt's unapologetic attitude towards cancel culture and ability to articulate himself are true signs of a quality comedian. Coming onto this podcast honestly makes me respect Matt Rife so much more. I was in a DV marriage for 15 years. Nothing that Matt said offended nor triggered me. I love Matt Rife. We all need to laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. But on TikTok, Matt's former domain, the response was decidedly different. Going on Jordan Peterson's podcast after all the backlash is all you need to know about Matt Rife. When Jordan Peterson likes you, you know you're in deep trouble. And just when we thought he was done speaking out, he seemed to come after the least likely of critics, a 6-year-old child. You heard that right. A 6-year-old. TikToker Bunny Hedaya has a 6-year-old son who loves space. And as she explained in her TikTok addressing the situation, her followers will often tag her in space-related content for her son to see. Sometimes, her son will have a response to a video that Bunny will share on her page. If you remember, one of Matt's Netflix jokes referenced Jupiter, so Bunny posted a stitch of one of Netflix's TikTok videos with the joke, with this response from her son.
It's Saturn that has the rings, and it has more also, and you're mean to girls.
When Bunny posted it to her Instagram page, Matt didn't find his comments funny. Jupiter also has ring. Oh, and Santa Claus isn't real. Your mom buys you presents with the money she makes on OF. Good luck. And as to be expected, the comments roasted Matt. We witnessed the rise and downfall of Matt Rife in like less than a year. I love it. Yo, is Matt Rife okay? His behavior is actually manic. Then, on December 12th, Tana Mojo's podcast co-host Brooke Schofield revealed her own experiences with Matt Rife on the latest episode of their podcast, and they were not great. Brooke revealed Matt was a guy she had been seeing earlier in 2023, more serious than a casual hookup, but not quite as serious as exclusively dating. She said Matt was the one who was more vocal about his affection.
Even more so from his end, he was the one who was initiating the conversations that were like, I haven't felt this way about anybody in so long.
Things seemed great at first, but Brooke was frustrated because she felt he wasn't putting as much effort into their relationship as she was.
I remember you had come with me to his show at the Laugh Factory, and I had just flown across the country to go spend time with him and see all his shows and whatever, and then he comes to LA and literally was not blowing me off, but just didn't really
and keep in mind you guys are next door neighbors.
He told her he'd come over to her house after the show, but
I stay up all night, the man never comes.
In fact, the first time she saw him after he ghosted her that night was when they recorded the episode of Canceled that featured him.
I didn't know he was gonna come in and act like he didn't know me from Adam. I thought it was gonna be yeah, we know each other. So I just felt weird because I was why are you pretending you don't know? It was just the weirdest feeling.
When Brooke told him how she was feeling, Matt told her he didn't have time for a relationship.
And that was when the conversation happened where he was just I'm so sorry, but I do not have time. I don't have time.
For a relationship.
He told me, he says, I haven't felt this way about anybody in so long. I've been dreading telling you because he's I just wanted to keep doing it as long as I could, but I can't put energy into this.
For a long time, Brooke considered Matt to be a kind, sweet guy, even though they ended things, and was even defending him as recently as the previous episode. Then, Brooke was tagged in a video on TikTok of a slideshow of photos of Matt and a girl. She was curious, so she went to the comments, where the poster said the photos were from earlier that year, the same time Brooke was with Matt. She DM'd the girl asking for the timeline, and she was quickly added to a group chat with other women.
You never want to be in a group chat with beautiful, strange women.
Brooke discovered these women had come up with timelines and Venn diagrams to track when he was with each of them, and they were all comparing notes to keep it all straight.
For a man who doesn't have time, this man had the most time.
At first, Brooke started questioning herself.
I start gaslighting myself. I'm literally like, okay, well, you know what? Like, maybe it wasn't as serious as I thought it was. Like, maybe I thought it was like this huge serious thing and he didn't. Took only a couple scrolls, Tana, for me to get back to where he's telling me, like, I don't want you I don't want you to even look at another guy. I don't want anybody else touching you. He didn't want me hanging out with like my guy friends. Like, I don't think I was delusional. Like, I really don't.
And then she remembered things from their time together that she initially wrote off, but now seemed like red flags, like when Matt went on the Stiff Socks podcast. The video has been scrubbed from YouTube when Matt got backlash for it, but the audio version is still available. Matt and Brooke had dinner the night before he went on the podcast, and when the episode went live, Brooke watched it to support her man. The first red flag was when one of the hosts asked Matt his preference in women.
His answer was blondes with fake.
As you can see, Brooke does not match that description, but the worst was yet to come.
He goes on to say that he is disgusted by Audi because it looks like God left the tag on them.
An Audi refers to the inner labia sticking out a little further than the outer labia, which is completely normal. It's also present in roughly 56% of folks who have that reproductive body part. As it turns out, Brooke is part of that 56%, and she was extremely hurt.
The public was like, oh my God, how horrible. Imagine how I felt. He literally just went on a podcast and was like, yeah, I'm repulsed by this.
After all of her discoveries, Brooke decided to reach out to Matt and send him a message.
I just sent him a text and I was like, how embarrassing is it that I'm literally currently getting dragged for defending you while also in a group chat with like 7 other girlfriends you had? Like, what the?
And found out he had blocked her number.
My number was blocked last week when I was waving a like Matt Rife is like so nice and respectful flag.
While the internet remained divided over Matt's current controversy, some online sleuths got to work uncovering drama Matt probably wished remained hidden. In response to his recent backlash, one Twitter user accused him of stealing jokes from comedian Ralphie May and included a video comparing the jokes in question.
And you wanted to have a class with Rusty because he was hilarious. Big old thing, 2 girls, 11.5 inches. Swear to God, Lord give it, Lord take it away.
God always replaces a negative with a positive. There was a kid, Alex, in our high school. He was special needs, and he had he had a go on him, man.
And to make matters worse, Ralphie May is one of the comedians Matt named as one of his inspirations in the Jordan Peterson interview.
As well, he made fun of child star Mason Ramsey's birthmark, and when Mason replied telling him not all of us are perfect, Matt backtracked hard. When streamer Chris Melberger pointed this out to him, Matt allegedly blocked him. And who can forget when he joked about the cast of Parasite potentially having COVID at the 2020 Oscars? However, the biggest controversy he's faced by far came from relatively deep in the past. Remember when we told you Matt was on Wild 'N Out back in 2015? For those who don't know, Wild 'N Out is a sketch comedy and battle rap improv show where 2 teams of comedians compete against each other in various improv comedy games. One team is led by host Nick Cannon, and the other team is led by a celebrity guest. In this particular episode, Zendaya was the celebrity guest, and for one game, Zendaya was holding water in her mouth, and Matt had to make her spit out the water by laughing in order to get a point for his team. Zendaya remained neutral to Matt's attempts to make her laugh, which included lines like,
"You're mixed, I want to be black, let's make a lifestyle movie."
When Zendaya didn't react, Matt grabbed her face and said,
"Spit that water out so I can get your number, please."
Zendaya's teammates immediately defended her, telling Matt to not touch her. And Zendaya herself wagged her finger in his face to show her disapproval. But Matt, much like the reaction to his current situation, doubled down, replying,
"I didn't touch her. She can handle herself."
When this clip resurfaced, the comments were swiftly defending Zendaya and criticizing Matt. This the same Matt Rife, never been funny. He got that cover your cup y'all riz. OMG, this is so embarrassing for him. Everything makes sense now. I didn't touch her. She can handle herself. Like, what? The switch up. And many people who watched Wild 'N Out back in the day were making the connection for the first time. Had I known Matt Rife was the same guy on Wild 'N Out that touched Zendaya's face, I would have instantly hated him.
And if this clip about haters being jealous of him from Tana Mojo's canceled podcast is any indication, he doesn't seem to hold his critics in high regard.
People only hate somebody they're jealous of. And I've been guilty of hating people, and when I really sat back and thought about it, it was because I was jealous of where that person was in their life. So now that I'm doing so much better for myself, I don't have that energy towards anybody.
So, from what we can tell, even though his recent success presented him in one light, a closer examination of the rest of his career shows this behavior seems to have been hiding in plain sight. While Matt seems to have lost his mass appeal in pop culture, he still has plenty of online support. According to Social Blade, he's still maintaining his high follower count, and his special was the #1 TV show in the US on Netflix the day after it was released. And even after the controversy, thousands of people showed up to his performance at the Dolby Theater in late November. So it remains to be seen how, or even if, this controversy will affect his career going forward.